Hi, how are you? I'm here again to have a video about Cartesian coordinate system. Do you think why do we have Cartesian coordinate system? Okay, so here are the word cloud. Here are the words that you will encounter during this chapter. Okay, so as you have seen, we have the coordinate numbers, rotation, points. So how are we going to determine these words? Okay, so let's proceed with René Descartes. Okay, so René Descartes is the person behind the Cartesian coordinate system. Why? Cartesian mathematics was invented by a French philosopher, physicist, physiologist, and mathematician René Descartes, who lives from 1596 to 1650. Descartes is famous not just for inventing Cartesian mathematics, which at the time was a stunning unification of algebra and geometry. He is also well known for making a pretty good stab of answering the question, how do I know something is true? A question that has kept generations of philosophers happily employed. So here is the picture of René Descartes. Okay? So again, he lives from 1596 to 1650. Okay. So much for that. Here is the physical feature of the Cartesian coordinate system. Okay, so let's proceed. So here are the vocabulary words that we have to recall under this chapter. Okay, so the first one is axes. So axes are the two perpendicular number lines used for locating points. Okay, so later I will draw the two axes. And these two axes have their names. So the first one is the x-axis, which is the horizontal number line. Okay? And the next one is the y-axis, which is the vertical number line. And since the two axes will intersect, we have the so-called origin. Origin is the intersection of the two axes. Okay? So by the way, axis is the plural of axis. Okay. So to continue, let us have again this graph paper. For example, you have your graph paper behind you. So we have, or beside you, we have here again the x-axis, followed by the, so again, this is the horizontal number line. Later, we are going to put numbers on each place. So we have here also the y-axis. And the point of intersection of the two number lines is what we call the origin. Okay? So again, we have the x-axis, the horizontal number lines. The vertical number line is the y-axis. And the point of intersection of these two number axes is the origin. Okay? So again, this is the rectangular coordinate system. And as you have noticed, we have here four regions. Okay? And these four regions are what we call the quadrants. Okay? So what do we mean by quadrants? Okay? So these are the parts of our Cartesian coordinate system or Cartesian coordinate plane. So if we are going to label the quadrants, we are going to start at the upper right. Okay? So therefore, we have here the first quadrant or quadrant 1. And if we are going to label the names, we are going to use the counterclockwise direction. Since we started here at the upper right, so the quadrant 2 is on this side. So we have here quadrant 2 and then followed by the quadrant 3 on the lower left. And on the lower right, we have the fourth quadrant. Okay? And points graphed in a rectangular coordinate system are defined by two numbers as an ordered pair. And it is always written in the form of xy and always inside the parentheses. Ordered pair is also known as coordinates. Okay? So in some other books, you may see the words coordinates wherein it is also the ordered pair. Again, this is always written in the form of xy inside the parentheses. And in these quadrants, we have to determine the signs of the points. On the first quadrant, we have positive x and positive y. And on the second quadrant, we have negative x and positive y. On the third quadrant, we have both negative x and negative y. And on the fourth quadrant, we have negative or positive x and negative y. Okay. So, why do I say positive, positive, negative, positive? Okay. So, in our x-axis, since this will be our origin and this will be the point 0, 0. Okay. So, our x here is 0 and our y is 0. On our x-axis, our 1 will be, or positive numbers will be on the right side. Okay. So, we have here, okay, sorry. So, we have here 1, of course, followed by 2. And do not put your numbers on the space. Okay? So, you have to write your numbers on the line. Okay? So, we have here 3. Okay, sorry. So, again, we have here 3. Then, on the other line, we have 4, 5, 6, 7, so on and so forth. And of course, on the left side, we have the negative numbers. Okay, so we have here negative 1, negative 2, negative 3, negative 4, negative 5. Again, you are going to write your numbers on the line. Okay, on the line, not on the space. Okay, and on our y-axis, the positive numbers should be written on the upper side. Okay, so we have here positive 1, then 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and so forth. And obviously, the negative numbers will be on the lower part. So we have here negative 1, negative 2, negative 3. Again, the numbers should be written on the line, not on the space. Okay, so let's just add negative 7 here. Again, each point has the different names because each point should have different signs. Okay, so it's either positive or negative. Okay, so how are we going to locate the points? So points x, y is located x units across and y units from the origin. Okay, so if you are going to name the points or locate the points, so you are going to look first at your x followed by your y, and you have to take note that you are going to start always start at the origin to name a point. Okay, so how are we going to have that? So again, if we are going to have the numbers on our number line, again on our x-axis, we have here the positive numbers. So we have here 1, 2, 3, and 4. Then, on the left side, we have here negative 1, negative 2. Okay, sorry. So, we have negative 2, then negative 3, negative 4. Then, on the y-axis, we have 1, 2, 3, 4. Then, the negative will be on the lower part. So, negative 2, negative 3, negative 4. Okay? And, as I have remembered, okay, so, these arrowheads states or means that you can extend your number line. So that's why you have their arrow. Okay? So for example, you have 7 as your number. So you can extend your x-axis or even your y-axis. Okay? So to recall, if we have the x, so this is the x coordinate. This is what we call the abscissa. And our y is what we call the ordinate. Okay. So, we have here 0.14 because if you are going to take a look again, our ordered pair should always be written in the form xy inside the parentheses. That's why it is ordered pair in order. You are going to label the points or to name the points in order. So, the order is always x followed by y. So, we have here x is 1. And then, we have here y is 4. So, that's why your point here is 1, 4. Okay? So, we have here 2, 3 because our x is 2 and our y is 3. So, that's why we have here 2, 3. Then, we have here 2, 1 because our x is 2 and our y is 1. And then, we have here 4, 1 because our x is 4 and our y is 1. Okay? Followed by, we have here 5, negative 1 because our x here is 5 and our y here is negative 1. Then we have here 0, negative 4 because we haven't any number in x except 0, and then it is negative 4 on the y-axis. And if you have seen the point in the y-axis, your x should always be 0. Okay? And then, so we have here this one. We have here negative 2.5 and negative 2.5 because we have here 2, we have here 3. So therefore, this one will be negative 2.5 and this one will also be negative 2.5. And then we have here negative 3.50. As I have said before, if your number is or ordered pair is on the y-axis, your x is 0. But this time, since your point is on the x-axis, this time your y is 0 and your x has the value. So we have here negative 3.5. And then the last is we have here negative 2, your x is negative 2, and then your y is positive 2. So that's why you have here negative 2, positive 2. Okay, so I hope you got how you are going to name the points. Okay, so let us have this one. So as you have seen, we have the name of the points, M, A, T, and H. Okay, so let us have first the point M. So as I have said earlier, start at the origin, look at the value of your x, then look at the, it looked like curve, but you have to form here a straight line. So we have here the value of your x, followed by the value of your y. So the point of intersection will be the label or the name of the point M. So that's why our point M is 1, 3. Okay, so the ordered pair of point M again is 1, 3. Okay, so how about point A? Okay, so again, start at the origin here, followed by the value of your x is 4, then the value of y is, 0. Okay, so that's why our point A has the ordered pair 4, 0. Okay, next let us have point T. Okay, so again, start at the origin, look for the value of your x. So we have here negative 5 and our y is negative 1. So the coordinates of point T are negative 5, negative 1. And then we have here point H. So again, start at the origin. So we have here, okay, negative 2, and then we have here y, which is 1. So the coordinates are negative 2, positive 1. Okay, so I hope it is clearer for you to have the names of the points in the Cartesian plane. Okay, so for the next slide, let us have, referring to the illustration on the next slide, give the coordinates of points A, B, C, D, E, and F, then state the quadrant where it belongs. Okay, so as I said earlier, we have 4 quadrants, starting at the upper right, followed by, and using the counterclockwise direction, your quadrant 2 will be on the upper left, quadrant 3 will be on the lower left, and quadrant 4 will be on the lower right. Okay, so let us have first point A. So we have here point A. What do you think is the ordered pair that can describe point A? Okay, so we have here, correct, we have here 0, 4. Okay, next, how about point B? So we have here point B. The ordered pair that can describe point B is, correct, we have 4, 2. And then point C. So we have here point C. So it seems it is not exact, but you can denote this using fraction or using decimal. So we have here x will be from here, y will be from here. So we have here 1, 1 and 1/2. Okay, or 1 and 1.5. Next, let's have point D. Okay, so again, start at the origin, our x, then our y, the point of intersection. Yes, you're correct. We have negative 2, positive 2. Next, we have positive or point E here. Okay, sorry. So again, let's have point E. So we have here the value of our x, then the value of our y here. The point of intersection is, yes, -2, -4. And the last point, we have here point F. So the value of your x here is 5. Yes, correct. And your f is -4. So our ordered pair is 5, -4. Okay, so is there any question so far? Okay, so I hope it is clear for you. Okay, so again, let's have this activity. So we are going to determine, by the way, if we are going to take a look again on our slide here. Okay, so our point A, okay, you are going to state the quadrant. Okay, sorry, I forgot. But you have to state the quadrant of point A. Okay, so as you have seen, it is not on either quadrant 1 or quadrant 2 because it is on the y-axis. Okay, so again, point A is on the y-axis. Okay, next we have point B. So since we have here positive, positive, and obviously, so it is on the first quadrant or quadrant 1. Then we have point C. Yes, it is also on quadrant 1. And then we have here point D. So we have here quadrant 2. And then point E, yes, it is in quadrant 3. And in point F, so we have here quadrant 4. Okay, so let's go back again with this slide. So you are going to determine the quadrant where the following points are located. So again, you have to take note that in quadrant 1, you have the signs of the coordinates are positive, positive. In quadrant 2, we have negative, positive. In quadrant 3, we have negative, negative. And in quadrant 4, we have positive, negative. Okay. So even without drawing the Cartesian plane, you can determine the quadrants where the points are located by using this. Okay. So I hope you can answer this. Okay. For you to practice yourselves. Okay. Next, let us have these slides. Okay? So I have here planes 1 to 5. So we have here plane 1, plane 2, plane 3, plane 4, and plane 5. Okay? So I will give you time to answer those planes wherein you are going to give the names of the points. Okay? And then you are going to form a word and use that word in the sentence. So you are going to use positive words, okay, or positive word. So, and then use that in a sentence so that you can have additional points. Okay? You are going to answer this individually, but I will group you wherein you will just only answer. For example, group 1 will only answer plane 1. And then group 2 will only answer plane 2. Then group 3, plane 3. Group 4, plane 4. And group 5, we have plane 5. Okay? So the groupings will be announced later. Okay? So I hope you're going to do this. Okay? So is there any question? Okay? So that's all for this day. And I will post another video how you are going to plot the points. Okay, so goodbye for now.